Food. God, where do I start?
No, you're just noisy and you're not letting your mama film the show. Oh, buddy, I'm terribly sorry. Can you give your mom some Zuckies?
Check this out, you're not gonna believe this. Louis Armstrong called. He said he wanted to sing my opening jingle. Can you believe this guy?
Sincerely, Sammy. Sincerely, Sammy Shaw.
Okay, this is huge. And it's gonna be a long one, so better strap in. Did you know almost 5 years of your life will be spent eating?
Working 9 to 5.
It's true. So true. Honestly, the statement that most comprehensively describes the total impact food has is, you are what you eat. The biggest problem is that our relationship with food is mostly behavioral. It has to do with who we grew up with, what we grew up being told,
when we grew up,
where we grew up, and even how we grew up. All of these varying factors strongly affect how we as individuals relate to food. But here's what's important. You have to listen to your body. Give it what it wants, what you're craving, and ensure that 90% of the time you're eating whole foods with no harsh additives. The nastiest,
Most repugnant.
insidious, and sneaky ingredients are hydrogenated oils, high fructose corn syrup, MSG, and artificial flavors, preservatives, and colors. There's a lot to discuss here. I'm just going to give you a relatively quick breakdown. Hydrogenated oils, found in baked goods at conventional grocers, among many other places, were a byproduct of bar soap production. Hey, what are we going to do with all this crud? I don't know. Pile it into a fat squat. Appealing cylindrical form, and Bob's your uncle. They can eat it.
oh golly, that's a swell idea.
And that, my friends, is how Crisco was born. Look at that fat, chunky baby. Don't you just want to bite him? Manufacturers like it because it allows their products to stay on shelves longer by avoiding expiration, which therefore increases their bottom line. But actually, living things can't properly digest it. I mean, normally we try to avoid eating plastic.
Right?
2 European countries have banned it. Also called trans fats, they're the main ingredient in margarine. Speaking of, speak, good kitty good. Can we just take a second to praise butter? People falsely vilify this gorgeous golden goo, but it's incredibly good for us. And we've been eating it for almost 5,000 years. More on that later. Did you know that out of the 3 macromolecules, protein, carbs, and fat, that fat has more than 2 times the efficiency? You get way more bang for your buck. And it's the only one that creates satiety. Meaning, fat is the only macromolecule that makes you feel full. No. Okay, Okay, everybody, thank you, hydrogenated oil. 5-second warning for high fructose corn syrup. Okay, 5-second warning for high fructose corn syrup. Thank you. High fructose corn syrup, another abomination that's only been around in the last 100 years and was created solely to cut costs in food manufacturing. Red bottoms. Once again, high fructose corn syrup has more fructose than regular sugar, and therefore attributes to greater increases in body fat. The consumption of high fructose corn syrup increased more than 1,000% between 1970 and 1990, far exceeding the changes in intake of any other food or food group. Okay, thank you, high fructose corn syrup. Everybody please prep for MSG. Okay, MSG is next. Thank you, everybody. MSG, monosodium glutamate, but this cat,
I beg your pardon?
disguises himself under a bunch of different aliases. Yeast extract, hydrolyzed this, that, or the other. And its ill repute is moderately controversial, at least in my family. Dad, MSG really is not that good for you. Bull. Here's the thing. MSG does occur naturally in a lot of foods, like cheese and tomatoes. But a problem arises when it's synthetically added to foods exclusively to make them tastier, mostly because it prevents us from being able to stop eating, i.e., once you pop, you can't stop. Literally. Literally. Stop in the name of love. And once again, this only serves to increase a food manufacturer's bottom line.
Be our guest, put our service to the test. Tie your napkin round your neck, Sherry, and we'll provide the rest.
This is because MSG directly interferes with digestive hormonal signaling.
Okay, I'm gonna make a left here, see if anyone is
Coming?
I'm gonna make sure that it's coming from that direction over there. Oh, golly, I missed it. Oh gosh.
Specifically, it interferes with leptin, which is a hormone our bodies produce to tell us we're full. Ghrelin is the hormone that tells you you're hungry. Think of a gremlin. And those two hormones need to work in tandem. Otherwise, you're going to be more disposed to storing fat and excess weight. Would it be persuasive to know that when trying to make lab rats gain weight, researchers administer MSG to them? Yeah. This is a perfect time to mention that you probably need to slow down when you're eating.
Chew your food. Chew your food.
With each bite of food, you actually should be chewing 30 times. 30 times! That's why we have all these flat molars back
Here.
There are numerous benefits to this principle. For one, we have enzymes in our saliva that facilitate digestion. So, the longer you keep the food in your mouth, the less work there is for the rest of your GI tract. Two, the longer you take to chew your food, the more time you give leptin to punch ghrelin in the guts. Back up, Jack. Did you know there's a correlation between eating slowly and having a smaller body mass index? Okay, we're wrapping for MSG. 5-second warning for artificial flavors, preservatives, and colors. Thank you, everyone. Terrific job. Thank you. I think by now I've impressed upon you that these things I've mentioned are bad. At least less than desirable. I really don't want to bore you with any more minutia, but artificial preservatives such as nitrates commonly used to cure meats, like bacon and deli cuts, have even been classified as a carcinogen in some parts of the world and are directly correlated to incidence of colon cancer. Maybe artificial flavors and colors aren't quite as offensive to the body, but they still should be avoided. Think about it this way. If it's not something we consumed in 1800, we shouldn't start now. And if you're getting animal produce like meat, eggs, milk, and cheese from regular grocers and not buying organic, you're most likely ingesting antibiotics and hormones. And if you care, and you should, conventionally raised animals are treated incredibly poorly. Now, anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of Whole Foods. It's so beautiful. Need a minute? I'm fine! The great thing about Whole Foods is that none of their stores contain any of these harmful ingredients I've mentioned, nor a pile of other nefarious foes. They also ensure the highest welfare for all animal produce, from impetus to dispatch. And none of the cans or plastic bottles in their stores are lined with BPA, a terrible endocrine disruptor. If you don't have a Whole Foods close, Trader Joe's is great. And most grocers nowadays have a section entirely dedicated to organic foods. Though it's more expensive, you should just always try to buy organic. It's better for you, it's better for the soil, which means it's better for the planet and all of its inhabitants. And ultimately, again, better for you. You know, back in the day, we as hunter-gatherers were the most healthy humans to ever walk the planet Earth, primarily because we had the most varied diet. We existed as such for almost 2 million years. You could pretty much say that hunting and gathering was kind of our jammy jams. We were living our best life. Blessed. Also, because we were nomads, we walked a ton, which is everything for human fitness. But we'll get to that jazz in a later episode. Normally, you should try to incorporate as many whole grains, veggies, fruits, and naturally derived fats as you can in every meal. Bright, colorful foods are best. A great, tasty, and efficient way to get a ton of diverse nutrients is by drinking cold-pressed juice. But it has to say cold-pressed on the label. Otherwise, it doesn't count. And it's definitely ideal to be cooking your own food. Soup happens to be one of my favorite things to eat.
Hey, yeah, I want some soup, baby. Soup, soup-a-doo, 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 well, bet your bottom dollar you were best under pressure. Yo, soup, I would like to taste ya.
It's easy to make, comforting, readily digestible, convenient to serve for often 1 week or more, doesn't require expert technical skills, and retains the nutrients of all the veggies inside. Still, we all like to eat out, and that's okay. Just make sure you're only eating crappy foods, you know what they are, 10 to 15% of the time. Sure. By the way, we all need to be eating way less meat. And that includes fish. The planet simply cannot endure it. Blow your mind? Carbs are not bad. America is protein obsessed, but we don't even need all this damn protein. Have you ever heard of blue zones? They're parts of the world that are home to the largest populations of centenarians, or people that live to be 100. Places like Loma Linda, California, Okinawa, Japan, and Sardinia, Italy. Consistent in these regions are things like a robust sense of community and fellowship, daily physical activity, and a good diet that's typically lower in meat. For example, Sardinian diets mainly consist of lots of veggies, backyard purveyed or locally cultivated foods, pasta, and lard. Yeah, bacon fat. If you're 120 pounds, you should only be eating around 50 grams of protein per day. Though for some folks like myself, being vegan is actually injurious to physical health, we can at least all strive to lean towards vegetarianism, and at minimum, just eat less meat. I know many of you are resistant to this next idea, but eventually the answer will be incorporating animal-free nutrition into our diets. And there are some cool companies on the horizon exploring such ideas, like superbrewed foods. They're naturally brewed microbial protein, created by the same anaerobic fermentation process used to make beer, yogurt, and even kimchi, delivers quality, affordable nutrition. Now I'm gonna show you some fun cheats. Smart sweets are tasty candies sweetened with stevia that also contain a ton of fiber. Ariel really fancies their version of Swedish fish. Well, pretty much any fish. Zevia is a sugar-free soda sweetened with stevia. So you guys want to go get like a soda or something like that? My favorites are cream soda and caffeine-free cola, but they have basically every flavor under the sun. Now let's talk about the science.
Science! Science! She blinded me!
We actually covered a lot of the science already, but to break things down even further, literally, the three macromolecules, protein, carbs, and fat, are further reduced respectively to amino acids, glucose, and fatty acids. Amino acids are used to build muscle and to make other proteins that are essential for the body to function. Glucose is used to supply energy to cells. Extra is stored in the liver. Fatty acids are used to make hormones and cell linings. Extra is stored in fat cells. And remember in the beginning when I spoke of how complex our relationship to food is? There's a promising app called Noom, Noom, that focuses on such psychological approaches. The results may not come as fast as our high-octane society craves, but when concerning diet, change should happen at the blistering pace of mold. But enough about that. I think it's time for some cat!
Buddy, you trying to steal your mama's foodums? Oh, buddy, you're bad.
Okay. That's it for this show, he's, she's, and theys. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, have fun, be safe, and learn some stuff, damn it!